Prince Andrew, Bill
Sandusky.
Gates, allegedly.
I don't know about him. I never heard that. But Sandusky I've heard.
You never heard about Bill Gates?
I didn't know he was into kids.
Oh, dude. I mean, he's one of Epstein's closest confidants.
Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night. All day.
Here. It's not necessarily blackmail as much as it's negotiation.
I would argue that's indistinguishable.
Right. Unless you're getting money too. Like, you know, I know.
No, blackmail is just I know something that you don't want out. And any level of threatening that it'll get out, or, you know.
Okay, but what if it goes the other way? What if the wealthy person contacts them and says, listen, I can make things very good for you. I can do this. I can do that. If I go to jail, this is not helping anybody.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, reverse. I mean,
that's the opposite. That's bribery, I guess? Kind of.
It's just, that's deal making. But I think that a lot of Epstein's targets were willing. I think that a lot of them, because I think that we're talking, it's not just Jeffrey Epstein, it's organized crime as a network. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just an employee of organized crime.
Right.
And I think that a lot of those people are basically saying, yeah, I want into the club. Because if you are like a Reid Hoffman, or allegedly, if you're one of those guys and you want more contracts or you want more deals, like allegedly. And like, let's be clear, just because I say something on Joe's podcast does not mean that Joe fucking agrees with me, CNN. Thank you. Because like, I'm a crazy fucker. And I got all kinds of theories about Epstein. But like, I think that a lot of them were willing, because I think a lot of them are, I mean, if you're sick enough to rape a child, like on Jeffrey Epstein's island, you're sick enough to want into that club.
Well, for sure, throughout history, there have been pedophiles. Oh. That's a fact. For sure, some pedophiles get to prominent positions of power. That's a fact, right?
Yeah. And the traits that do the same, like
Jimmy Savile in fucking England, like that. Yep. And that should put it out to bed for anybody.
Prince Andrew, Bill
Sandusky,
Gates, allegedly.
I don't know about him. I never heard that. But Sandusky, I've heard.
You never heard about Bill Gates?
I didn't know he was into kids.
Oh, dude. I mean, he's one of Epstein's closest confidants. And
here's the thing about the Epstein thing. Were they all underage? Were some of them?
Not at all. No, it's very complex.
Right. And so some of them were in their 20s. Like one girl who was complaining, or I shouldn't say complaining. That's very mild. Yeah. One girl who alleging that she was 20 at the time. She was saying.
Yeah.
So just because someone has been to the island and has been compromised, right, doesn't necessarily mean that they've been compromised with underage people. But I think there's a specific group that wants underage people.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is not a conspiracy theory. It has been that way throughout history. There
All
are
of history.
Many, many, many conspiracies that have been uncovered, and criminal investigations have found that people were trafficking children. It's been done. So this is not like vampires.
No.
We're not talking about werewolves.
Child trafficking rings get exposed and brought down around the world relatively frequently, like at least once a year, but they usually don't make big news because they're usually not like Epstein.
We know there are pedophiles. That's a real thing. We know there are psychos who get very wealthy and want specific things.
Yeah.
Look, there's people that drink rhino horn tea.
Exactly.
Right? Why do they drink rhino horn tea? Because the rhino is so endangered. It's so gangster to have rhino horn
experience.
Exactly. Elite experience.
And what you're talking about is this. It's such an important concept. Is that some people, like, if you wanted to pay for an underage prostitute, you can pay for that. There are women that would be prostitutes underage. The people that we're talking about in the Epstein files that wanted underage girls, specifically because they weren't all underage. Some of them wanted overage girls. Some of them were just scientists. They weren't all compromised. But the ones that wanted underage girls, they specifically want what they couldn't have. Because if you wanted sex that you're allowed to have, you just wanted a young girl, you could just go pay for that. What Epstein was doing is he was recruiting girls that were from like American families and kind of tricking them and coercing them. Like, they wanted a girl that they wanted the experience of coercing. Some of these people, not all of them, want the experience of I am doing this to a girl that I am coercing, I am manipulating, or I'm just straight up being physically violent to get this thing. Because if you wanted a willing 16-year-old, those do exist.
But the thing about these really wealthy, high-profile people, and Eric Weinstein was highlighting this to me once. He was saying,
"Smart dude, I like
very
him.
Smart dude."
Yeah.
And he wasn't making any accusations at all, but he was just talking overall. He goes, I think there are people out there that can facilitate experiences for discrete clients, and that it's very valuable. Yeah. Like, look at the guy who gave Epstein that house in Manhattan. He gave him the.
You mean
the
Leslie
guy
Wexner?
Yeah, the guy from Victoria's Secret.
Dude.
He gave him a $60 million mansion.
He did way more than that. He signed his entire power of attorney to him.
You're so cool. I'm going to give you a house.
No, he gave him the keys to the entire castle of all of Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie and Fitch and all of L Brands.
When you find out that people who worked at Nickelodeon are pedophiles, you go, oh,
foot fetishists, no less.
Right. If you're going to be a pedophile, wouldn't you go be around kids? Like, if you could be and sneak around? Okay, wouldn't you think that here, Sacha Baron Cohen thought he had exposed pedophile ring while filming Who is America? Oh, that's right.
Story.
That's right. I forgot about that.
The concierge said they
could do something.
That, we can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, things happen out at it's kind of crazy. Do you remember Andrew Breitbart got killed?
I do remember.
And he was exposing
a heart attack.
Exactly. Right. He was exposing Acorn because oh man, I'm totally blanking on our boy these days that does all the
O'Keefe?
Yeah,
James
O'Keefe.
Yeah.
You know that James O'Keefe got his start with Breitbart on that story exposing Acorn, and what they did is they sent James O'Keefe and this other female reporter into Acorn,
and O'Keefe pretended to be a pimp.
They asked them for help setting up a underage sex trafficking ring, and the people at Acorn,
I didn't know it was underage.
Yeah, that was they wanted help setting up an underage sex trafficking ring using children from Guatemala or from Central America.
Did they say that in the meeting?
It's on. That was what was on tape.
What?
Yeah, it blew my mind when I read it. I was like, "What are we talking about right now?" Because I didn't know that history because I wasn't paying attention back then. And that is the story, is that he went in and asked for help setting up I don't think he was probably using the words like 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds. I assume that he was like implying like 16-year-olds, but I don't know. But that's the story.
How did he phrase it?
I don't know. It's not, I can't find those videos anymore. I've looked.
Really?
I'm sure they're somewhere, and I'm sure that James O'Keefe could tell the story.
What happened with him and Project Veritas?
I don't know. I have no idea. And it's a whole drama fest. And I try to stay, I usually try to stay out of the drama in the modern industry because it's like, it'll just waste your time.
Conspiracy drama. There's drama inside the drama industry.
There's drama in every industry, dude.
There's drama in the drama class.
But yeah, he went in and asked for help setting up this ring, and they allegedly said, yeah, here's how you do it. We'll help you. And that's what the case they brought against Acorn was.
Right.
Before Andrew Breitbart mysteriously died, and then the coroner that did his autopsy mysteriously died. It's like that was such a weird one to stumble upon because I didn't know I was about to stumble upon it.